Dandak Pranam all the time. Hare Krishna, welcome you all for the today's session. We'll offer the prayers first and we'll start with the prayers and then we'll start with the Bhagavad Gita class and then the Purushottam prayers. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Sorry to cut in.
Hare Krishna. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita 2.35, 36 and 37 and we'll read from the Vedabhas only directly. That PPT is not opening project, that's why I'm directly taking. भयाद्रणादुपरतं मन्सन्ते त्वां महारता येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् भयाद्रणादुपरतं मत्स्यन्ते त्वां महारता येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् भयाद्राण उपरतं मांसन्ते मत्स्यन्ते त्वां महारथा येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. The translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. So here in Bhagavad Gita, this part, Krishna is telling Arjuna about if you give up the battlefield, because Arjuna was thinking not to fight. So Krishna was telling Arjuna that if you are giving up the battlefield, then how the other people, other fighters will think of you. So in purport, Prabhupada is telling that Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna, and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell. Text 36. Avachavadam Shabahun अवाच वादांश बहुन तिष्यन्ति तवाहिता निन्दन्स निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्य ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् अवाच वादांश बहुन वादिष्यन्ति तवाहिता निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् अवाच वादांश बहुन वादिष्यन्ति तवाहिता निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्य ततो दुःखतरं नु किम्. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statement against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So Krishna is here telling Arjuna. Actually, Krishna is trying to motivate Arjuna that, in other words, like. He is telling Arjuna that it is in vain if you are giving up the battlefield. You have to stay and fight. The next verse, हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्ग जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महिम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्ग जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महिम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय अतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्ग जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महिम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. Even being killed there, he could be elevated into the heavenly planets. So, here in these three verses, Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, because Arjuna was telling many reasons for not to fight. And Krishna is now telling Arjuna, and Arjuna has accepted he has surrendered to the Krishna, and by the 2.7, Karpanya dosho bhavata swabhava, and he accepted the discipleship, uh, he accepted Krishna as a guru, and he's telling Krishna, you guide me so that I will be taking a best decision. And Krishna is telling Arjuna that your decision of not to fight, that is very wrong. And why it is wrong, Krishna is giving many reasons. And here in 2.37, Krishna is telling Arjuna, O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, Tasmad Uttishta Kaunteya. So he is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, please wake up, stand up and fight, to fight. So either you will be killed, what will happen? Either you will be killed or you will be victorious. Fear, as a Kshatriya, you have to fight. You can't give up the battlefield. So, like that, Krishna is telling Arjuna about the why he has to fight, and he's preparing. Krishna is preparing Arjuna for the following the dharma and not following his own whimsical mental concoctions or mental thinking, because Arjuna was thinking based on the attachment to his relatives and based on the right purpose, based on the compassion he was saying. But uh, Arjuna, Krishna is telling them, Arjuna, that your compassion no one will understand. You are thinking that great generals like Dronacharya, Kripacharya, they will understand you are not fighting because of compassion. No, they will think that you have you don't have confidence to win, so you have lose the battlefield and you have given up the battlefield. So for a kshatriya, uh, their challenging their dharma, their that is more powerful than a death also. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, what will happen? You will die or you will be victorious, but your dharma should not go in vain. So you have to follow the dharma. And therefore, wake up, stand up, get up, and fight. So get up with determination and fight with determination. So we should also learn from this that okay, we also sometimes in life give up so many things. Like we are while following the spiritual principles, also spirituality, also we are many times we are getting slack. It's a part of, or sometimes we are at very high zone and sometimes we are at very low zone. What is high zone and low zone? Means we are very enthusiastic, sometimes very enthusiastic and enthusiastically participate, enthusiastically chanting and going for yatra in this Purushottam month. We are very enthusiastic to do all the sadhana bhakti. But sometimes it is not a every time that enthusiasm remains or not, we don't know. Sometimes it slackens due to, even if when we are ill. Recently I was not well, two last yesterday only. So it get demotivated. So what to do then? We have to follow our dharma. So get up with determination and fight, because what will happen? Nothing will happen. So we have to fight based on our capacity, and we don't have to give up on anything. Giving up and not following our dharma, that is the very bad. That is not for not our dharma. Our dharma is to face the problem, face the. Krishna is telling Arjuna. Krishna is teaching us also one more thing we should learn here, that we have to face the problem, even if there are many problems in uh, our life also, in material world also. We have to face, not we have to run back, go back uh, while leaving the problem aside. And it is not like that every problem we have to solve. All the problem, even if we are, um, all problems are not to solve. There are some problems which we have to ignore also. But we have to face, we have to be there, not to give up and go back. So with this learning, we will go to the another part of the uh, Purushottam month sadhana bhakti. We will read the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Just a minute. Yeah, we can read the Bhagavad Gita. I hope all the devotees will chant the or two verses each devotee, right? So who will start? Hare Krishna. Am I audible to everyone?
Hare
Jai
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, may I?
Yeah. Mataji, please.
Suhasini Mataji, you carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on, Mataji. Next I'll continue.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Urdhvamulam Adhashakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसुतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलानि अनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके हरे कृष्ण
Thank
न
you.
रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा प्रवृत्ति प्रसुता पुराणी
निर्माणमोघाचिदसङ्गदोष अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तिकामा द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ता सुखदुःखसज्ञै गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम हरे कृष्ण
Next devotee.
ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीर kindly scroll up Prabhuji शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चापुत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात्
श्रोत्रं चक्षुषस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढनानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः
यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् हरे कृष्ण
गामाविश्य च भूतानि कारयाम्याहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्
सर्वस्य च सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेविदेव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षराक्षर एव च क्षरा सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते
उत्तमपुरुषस्त्व अन्यः परमात्मीत्य उदारतः यो लोकत्रयम् आविश्य बिभर्त्य अव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षराद् अपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च तीतम्
Next,
यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः ओम श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, all the devotees. We will sing a bhajan. It's known as Radha Krishna Pranamora. It is written by Narottam Das Thakur. Very nice bhajan. Uh, Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugal Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamora Jugal Kishore जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोर जीवने मरणे गति हार नाही मोह। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर जुगल किशोर। कालिंदी कुले केली कदंबे रवन। कालिंदी कुले केली कदंबे रवन। रतन बेदीर उपा बसावो दुज। रतन वेदीरा उपा बसावो दुज। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। श्याम गौरी अंगे दिव चंदनेर गंध। श्याम गौरी अंगे दिवो चंदनेर गंध। श्यामरडुलाबो कबे तेरी मुखचंद्र। श्यामरडुलाबो कबे तेरी मुखचंद्र। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। घाटिया मालतीर मला दिवो दोहर गले। घाटिया मालतीर मला दिवो दोहर गले। आधरे तुलिया दिवो कर्पूर तांबूले। आदरे तुलिया दिवो कर्पूर तांबूले। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोर युगल किशोर। ललिता विशाखादि शत सखी वृंद। ललिता विशाखादि शत सखी वृंद। अज्ञय करीब सेवा चरणारविंद। अज्ञय करीबो सेवा चरणारविंद। राधा कृष्ण प्राण युगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण युगल किशोर। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासर अनुदास। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासर अनुदास। सेवा विलास कोरे नरोत्तम दास। सेवा विलास कोरे Narottamada Radha Krishna Pranamur Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamur Yugala Kishore Radha Krishna Pranamur Yugala Kishore Jai Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki Jai. So we'll read the translation also. Short translation. The divine couple, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, are my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small Kadamba trees on the bank of the Yamuna, I will seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. I will anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste scented with chuya, and I will fan them with a chamara whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moonlight faces? Chuva is like Shama Gauri Chandanera. After stringing together garlands of Malti flowers, I will place them around their necks, and I will offer tambul scented with camphor to their lotus mouths. With the permission of all the Sakis, headed by Lalita and Vishaka, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for this service to the divine couple. See the mood of our Acharya Narottam Das Thakur. He is always in the mood of service. We can see his all the Vaishnava songs. He is glorifying the Lord and always praying that please engage me in service, because actual seva, actual pratyaksha seva is more important to achieve the Krishna consciousness or to please the Lord. It is not only by uh, hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting will give us the more seva and more seva. So our seva, pratyaksha seva, how much pratyaksha seva we will do by these our own body, that much love and care we will take of the divine couple, and we will develop that much love, because while serving only we will develop a love, like a mother who serves her child from, like a parent, they serve the child from childhood, from their birth. They develop a loving reciprocation, loving feelings for the child, and like that, why they are loving so much? Because they have served more. So how much we will serve more, we will love more the Supreme Lord. So thank you very much. uh, Next is the story. We are reading the story from the Krishna book today, the killing of Kamsa. So till now we have read the stories and we have heard the story about the Krishna Katha, and Krishna is coming to the audio is on. Yeah. So we are hearing the story today, the killing of Kamsa. Now fighting spirit is going on, and Krishna and Balram, they both are coming to the Kamsa's arena, boxing arena, and then they are starting the fight. First, they are fighting with Chanur and Mushtik, and then Kamsa comes. So we'll see how nicely it is given in the Krishna book. It is all the fighting spirit and with a nice narration. Prabhupada has given it very nicely. After Kamsa's wrestlers expressed their determination, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the killer of Madhu, confronted Chanura, and Lord Balrama, the son of Rohini, confronted Mushtika. Krishna and Chanur, and then Balram and Mushtik locked themselves hand to hand like this. leg to leg, and each began to press against the other with a view to coming out victorious. They joined palm to palm, calf to calf, head to head, chest to chest, and began to strike each other. So much fighting. The fighting increased as they pushed each other from one place to another. One captured the other and threw him down on the ground, and another rushed from the back to the front of another and tried to overcome him with a hold. The fighting increased step by step. There was picking up, dragging, and pushing, and then the legs and hands were locked together. All the arts of wrestling were perfectly exhibited by the parties as each tried his best to defeat his opponent. But the audience in wrestling arena was not very much satisfied because Krishna and Balrama was very small in front of Chanur and Mustik. Therefore, audience was saying that it is not the combatants because the combatants did not appear to be equally matched. They considered Krishna and Balrama to be more boys before Chanur and Mustik, who were the strongest wrestlers as solid as stone. Being compassionate and favoring Krishna and Balram, the many ladies in the audience began to talk as follows. Dear friends, there is injustice here. Another said, even in front of the king, this wrestling is going on between incompatible sides. The ladies had lost their sense of enjoyment. They could not encourage the fighting between the strong and the weak. Mustik and Chanur are just like thunderbolts, as strong as great mountains, and Krishna and Balram are two delicate boys of very tender age. The principle of justice has already left this assembly. Persons who are aware of the civilized principles of justice will not remain to watch this unfair match. Those taking part in watching this wrestling match are not very much enlightened. Therefore, whether they speak or remain silent, they are being subjected to the reactions of sinful activities. But, my dear friends, another lady in the assembly spoke out. Just look at the face of Krishna. There are drops of there are drops of perspiration on his face from chasing his enemy, and his face appears like a lotus flower with drops of water. Another lady said, don't you see how the face of Lord Balrama has turned especially beautiful? There is a reddish hue on his white face because he is engaged in a strenuous wrestling match with Mustika. Another lady in the assembly addressed her friend, dear friend, just imagine how fortunate is the land of Vrindavan, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself is present, always decorated with flower garlands and engaged in tending cows along with his brother, Lord Balrama. He is always accompanied by his coward boyfriends, and he plays his transcendental flute. The residents of Vrindavan are fortunate to be able to constantly see the lotus feet of Krishna and Balrama, which are worshipped by the great demigods like Lord Shiva and by the goddess of fortune. We cannot estimate how many pious activities were executed by the damsels of Rajabhumi so that they were able to enjoy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by looking upon the unparalleled beauty of his transcendental body. The beauty of Lord is beyond compare. No one is higher than or equal to him in beauty of complexion or bodily luster. Krishna and Balrama are the reservoir of all kinds of opulence, namely wealth, strength, beauty, fame, knowledge, and renunciation. All six Shadripu, Shad Aishwarya. All Shad Aishwaryas are full. The gopis are so fortunate that they can see and think of Krishna 24 hours a day, beginning from their milking the cows or husking the paddy or churning the butter in the morning. While engaged in cleaning their houses and washing their floors, they are always absorbed in thought of Krishna. The gopis give a perfect example of how one can execute Krishna consciousness even while performing various types of material engagements. By constantly being absorbed in the thought of Krishna, one cannot be affected by the contamination of material activities. The gopis, therefore, are perfectly in trance, samadhi, the highest perfectional stage of mystic power. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that one who is constantly thinking of Krishna is a first class yogi among all kinds of yogis. My dear friends, one lady told another, we must accept the activities of the gopis to be the highest form of piety. Otherwise, how could they have achieved the opportunity of seeing Krishna both morning and evening? In the morning, when he goes to the pasturing ground with his cows with and cowherd boyfriends, and in the evening when he returns with them, playing on his flute and smiling very brilliantly. So gopis were twice they were taking darshan of Lord. When Lord Krishna, the super soul of every living being, understood that the ladies in the assembly were anxious for him, he decided not to continue wrestling but to kill the wrestlers immediately. The parents of Krishna and Balrama, namely Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Vasudev and Devki were also very anxious because they did not know the unlimited strength of their children. Lord Balrama was fighting with the wrestler Mustika in the same way that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was fighting and wrestling with Chanura. Lord Krishna appeared to be cruel to Chanura, and he immediately struck him thrice with his fist. The great wrestler was jolted, gone. To the astonishment of the audience, Chanura then took his last chance and attacked Krishna, just as one hawk swoops upon another. Folding his two hands, he began to strike the chest of Krishna like this. But Lord Krishna was not even slightly disturbed, any more than an elephant when hit by a flower garland. Krishna quickly caught the two hands of Chandura and began to wheel him around. And simply by centrifugal action, Chandura lost his life. Krishna then threw him to the ground. Chandura fell just like the flag of Indra, and all his nicely fashioned ornaments were scattered hither and thither. Mustika also struck Balrama, and Balrama returned the stroke with great force. Mustika began to tremble and vomit blood. Distressed, he gave up his vital force and fell down just as a tree falls down in hurricane. After the two wrestlers were killed, a wrestler named Kuta came forward. Lord Balrama immediately caught him in his left hand and killed him nonchalantly. A wrestler on the name Shala came forward, and Krishna immediately cracked his head with a kick. A wrestler named Toshala came forward and was killed in the same way. Thus, all the great wrestlers were killed by Krishna and Balrama, and the remaining wrestlers fled from the assembly out of fear for their lives. All the coward boyfriends of Krishna and Balrama approached them and congratulated them with great pleasure. While trumpets resounded and drums were beaten, the lake bells on the feet of Krishna and Balrama tinkled. All the people gathered there began to clap in great ecstasy, and no one could estimate the bonds of their pleasure. The Brahmanas present began to praise Krishna and Balrama ecstatically. Only Kamsa was morose. He neither clapped nor offered benediction to Krishna. Kamsa resented that the trumpets and drums should be played for Krishna's victory, and he was very sorry that the wrestlers had been killed and had fled with the assembly. He therefore immediately ordered the band to stop playing and addressed his men as follows. I ordered that these two sons of Vasudev be immediately driven out of Mathura. The coward boys who have come with them should be plundered and all their riches taken away. Nanda Maharaj should immediately be arrested and killed for his cunning behavior, and that rascal Vasudev should also be killed without delay. Also, my father Ugrasen, who has always supported my enemies against my will, should be killed. When Kamsa spoke in this way, Lord Krishna became very angry with him, and within a second he jumped onto the high dais of King Kamsa. Kamsa was prepared for Krishna's attack, for he knew from the beginning that Krishna was to be the supreme cause of his death. Yes, that he remembered the Akashwani. Kamsa immediately unsheathed his sword and prepared to answer the challenge of Krishna with sword and his shield. As Kamsa wielded his sword up and down, either and thither, Lord Krishna, the supreme powerful Lord, caught hold of him with great force. The supreme personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the complete creation and from whose lotus navel the whole creation is manifested, immediately knocked the crown from the head of Kamsa and grabbed his long hair in his hand. He then dragged Kamsa from his seat to the wrestling dais and then threw him down. Then Krishna at once straddled his chest and began to strike him over and over again. Simply from the strokes of Krishna's fist, Kamsa lost his vital force. To assure his parents that Kamsa was dead, Lord Krishna dragged him just as a lion drags an elephant after killing it. When people saw this, there was a great roaring sound from all sides as some spectators expressed their jubilation, and others cried in lamentation. From the day Kamsa had heard he would be killed by the eighth son of Devaki, he was always thinking of Krishna with his will in hand. And because he was very much afraid of his death, he was thinking of Krishna in that form 24 hours a day without stopping, even while eating, while walking, and while breathing, and naturally he got the blessing of liberation. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Sada Tadbhava Bhavita. A person gets his next life according to the thoughts in which he is always absorbed. Kadam Kamsa was thinking of Krishna with his will, which means Narayana, who holds a wheel, conch shell, lotus flower, and club. According to the opinion of authorities, Kamsa attained Sarupya Mukti after death. That is to say, he attained the same form of as Narayana Vishnu. On the Vaikuntha planets, the inhabitants have the same bodily features as Narayana. After his death, Kamsa attained liberation and was prompted to Vaikuntha Loka. From this instance, we can understand that even a person who thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as enemy gets liberation or a place in a Vaikuntha planet. So, what to speak of the pure devotees who are always absorbed in favorable thoughts of Krishna? Even an enemy killed by Krishna gets liberation and is placed in the impersonal Brahma Jyotir, since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all good. Anyone thinking of him either as an enemy or as a friend gets liberation. But the liberation of the devotee and the liberation of enemy are not the same. The enemy generally gets the liberation of Sayujya and sometimes he gets Sarupya liberation. Kamsa had 8 brothers headed by Kanka, all of them younger than he, and when they learned that their elder brother had been killed, they combined together and rushed toward Krishna in great anger to kill him. Kamsa and his brothers were all Krishna's material uncles, brothers of Krishna's mother, Devaki. When Krishna killed Kamsa, he killed his material uncle, which is against the regulation of Vedic injunctions. Although Krishna is independent of all the Vedic injunctions, he violates the Vedic injunctions only in inevitable cases. Kamsa could not be killed by any more but Krishna. Therefore, Krishna was obliged to kill him. But as far as Kamsa's 8 brothers were concerned, Balrama took charge of killing them. Balrama's mother, Rohini, although the wife of Vasudeva, was not the sister of Kamsa. Therefore, Balram took the charge of killing all of Kamsa's 8 brothers. He immediately took up an available weapon, most probably the elephant's tusk which he carried, and killed the 8 brothers one after another, just as a lion kills a flock of deer. Krishna and Balram thus verified the statement that the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in order to give protection to the pious and kill the impious demons, who are always enemies of the demigods. The demigods from the higher planetary systems showered flowers congratulating Krishna and Balrama. And the demigods were powerful personalities like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and all joined together in showing their jubilation over Kamsa's death. There were beating of drums and showering of flowers from the heavenly planets, and the wives of demigods dance in ecstasy. The wives of Kamsa and 8 brothers were aggrieved at the sudden death of their husband, and all of them struck their foreheads and shed torrents of tears, crying loudly and embracing the bodies of their husband, which lay on the wrestling days. The wives of Kamsa and his brother lamented, addressing the dead bodies. Our dear husbands, you are so kind and are the protectors of your dependents. Now, after your death, we are also dead, along with your homes and children. We no longer look auspicious. On account of your death, the auspicious functions to take place, such as the sacrifice of the bow, have all been spoiled. Our dear husbands, you treated persons ill who were faultless, and as a result, you have been killed. This is inevitable because a person who torments an innocent person must be punished by the laws of nature. We know that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the supreme master and supreme enjoyer of everything. Therefore, one who neglects his authority can never be happy, and ultimately, as you have, he meets death. Since Krishna was kind and affectionate to his aunts, he solaced them as far as possible. The ritualistic ceremonies performed after death were then conducted under the personal supervision of Krishna because he happened to be the nephew of all the dead princes. After finishing this business, Krishna and Balrama immediately released their father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, who had been imprisoned by Kamsa. Krishna and Balram fell at their parents' feet and offered them prayers. Vasudeva and Devaki had suffered so much trouble from Kamsa because Krishna was their son. Devaki and Vasudeva were fully conscious of Krishna's exalted position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although Krishna touched their feet and offered them obeisances and prayers, they did not embrace him, but simply stood up to hear the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Krishna was born as their son, Vasudeva and Devaki were always conscious of his position. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of 44th chapter of Krishna, the killing of Kamsa. So, thank you very much. Here we have completed the reading of chapter 44. And now we will recite the Govardhan prayer and we'll close today's session. You can recite the Govardhan prayer. 3 devotees can chant 11 times.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।
Yes, Mataji, please, you can start.
गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानं गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुल उत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं
May I present?
गोवर्धनधार हरि
Continue, continue.
गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधारं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधारं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम्। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, थैंक यू।
मे I प्रभु? गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम् गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधारं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणां गोकुलोत्सवमीशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमम्
Another. Okay, third part I will recite. Anyone wants to recite?
हरे कृष्ण शैले प्रभु जी।
Yes, Mataji, please.
हरे कृष्ण। गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं गोवर्धनधरं वन्दे गोपालं गोपरूपिणं गोकुलोत्सवम् ईशानां गोविन्दं गोपिकाप्रियं वन्दे नवघनश्यामं द्विभुजं मुरलीधरं पीताम्बरधरं देवं शरदं पुरुषोत्तमं हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Mataji. We'll read the translation once and then we'll stop. I worship the lifter of Govardhan Hill, who has the beautiful form of a cowherd boy and who is continually plays with the Gopas. He is the Lord of Gokul, wherein every day is a festival. I offer my obeisances to Navaghana Sham, Krishna, who has the color of a fresh rain cloud, who is holding the flute with his two hands. I worship Purushottama, who is so beautiful in his yellow dress, Pitambara. So thank you very much, all the devotees. Wish you very happy Purushottam Mass. Few days are remaining, almost 10 to 12 days. So take a chance of this super sale month coming after every 3 years, and pray for all the devotees so that they will also get the blessings of Supreme Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Thank you,
प्रभु चक्रवर्ती
Prabhuji.
प्रणाम
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Hare Krishna devotees. Who wants to do the Tulsi Arti? Anybody? Tomorrow will anybody do? Show Tulsi Arti? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I can recite the prayer, but I cannot show the Tulsi Aarti, Prabhuji. If you want, I can
Yeah.
recite it how I know, Prabhuji.
Sure. Komala Mataji. Will you be able to show tomorrow?
Hare Krishna, then Pranam Prabhuji. Okay, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Yeah. And then next day, Indra Hardas Mataji. Okay. Okay. Day after tomorrow.
Morning
Hare
satsang
Krishna.
reduced.
Yeah. One important announcement. The morning the satsang has been moved from 2 p.m. to 11 a.m. The Purushottam satsang is at 11 a.m. Please join there, devotees. You are getting the link in the group, devotees.
Prabhuji, your voice was breaking. Kindly repeat, Prabhuji.
Morning satsang at 11 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock every day. We are
Okay.
moving it from 2 p.m. to 11 a.m. I'm asking, is everybody receiving the message in the group? Morning English.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We've received the
Okay.
message.
Yeah. Kindly join at 11 a.m. instead of 2 p.m. every day from today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna
Thank
to
you,
all
Prabhuji.
devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, all the devotees. We'll end the meeting here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much.